Okay, so this is a little dresser that I got a while ago at one of the thrift stores, and I refinished it and did some transfers on it. It's cute, but it's never going to be in great condition. It's just, I mean, I put some new plywood sides on it, and I think I redid one of the drawer bottoms, not this one, but one of them here. Maybe not that one either. Yeah, this one. So I tried to repair it a little bit. Now, it's just never going to be worth a lot of money just because of what it is. It's kind of warped. These little plies warped over time. I think they were a little warped when I got it. So anyway, I thought this would be a good project piece for demonstrating blending techniques. So on this little piece, I'm going to do 3 different types of blends. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so I have a number of different paints, and I tried to keep it all Waverly or Walmart type of paints just for consistency, but I didn't have any blue, so I grabbed a Dixie Belle blue. But I tried to keep the colors on the lighter side, and you'll see that we don't have any primary colors here, except for the blue. Could be considered a primary. It's Bunker Hill blue. There's barely any left, but at least we'll be able to get into it a little bit. And a couple of lighter colors that we can blend with. So yellows, grays, peaches, pinks, greens. Yeah. And I have a couple of application brushes. I usually use a little chip brush stirrers for our paint. I have 3 separate brushes. Usually I blend with these. Sometimes I apply 2 colors with 2 brushes and then blend with a third. And I'm going to try to keep it simple, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. I have a couple of containers that I can use as a palette. I'm not really going to worry about mixing up my paints because this is just kind of a demonstration. And right here, the only prep I did was actually to wipe this down. This probably is going to go more for parts than anything else. Or I might throw some, linens in it or something here and use it for a bit of storage. That could be, and then I'll try to keep the top nice in case I want to use that for something else. But we'll paint the sides is what we'll start to do today. And the 2 most important things for blending is your mister and a damp rag and a cup of coffee. Or you could have tea. So I also like to go for comfort, and I have a low rolling thing. It's really just one of these dollies, and I have a couple of blankets over it to make it comfortable, and a 4th dolly so that I can put my paints on that while I'm rolling around and I'm not having to get up and down. And I'll try to keep everything low so that it's convenient. So I'm going to start with what I call a technical blend. And the reason I call it a technical blend is because it's usually done with colors that play well together, and you work toward a seamless edge. Not all blending is seamless, and I actually don't believe there are really any rules to it. But this is I would say it's the most popular kind of blend, and I will list a few people in the text up here, a few different artists that I think do really good technical blends. And a lot of times when we do a technical blend, we're trying to focus a brightness on a particular section of the thing that we're painting, in this case, furniture. So, in other words, sometimes if you have a big blank space, you will do the outside in a darker color and then gradually come into the center and highlight the direct center or highlight different areas of the center. So that's kind of what we're going to start right now. I'm just going to mist an application brush. And what I'm going to do is a typical technical blend. In a way, it's very easy. It depends on the colors that you use. You can make a technical blend difficult. But right here, I'm using a gray. I don't really want to get it on my wood up there, but I'm just going to take a square And one of the things to remember with a blend is to keep the edges wet. So it becomes really challenging to blend if your paint is dry. So this is the most basic thing that you can do in a technical blend. And I'm going to just use the pink. Let's use another detail brush. Let's use a dark pink because I think that will be pretty. And then actually we'll take it even one more. And I'm going to use the same brush. I'm just going to throw a little bit of light pink in there as well. Okay, so I have a dampened brush. And I'm going to start on the edges. And I'm just going to lightly go around in a circle. It doesn't have to be a circle. You could go back and forth. This is just the way that I do it. And I find it to be easy because it's a good way to bring the paints together and try to hide that edge. I'm going to use even though I don't have a lot of paint on my brush, I'm still going to wet it so that I can keep this light. I don't know if you can hear the rain on the roof. And this is just a first coat, and I have a bluish, duck egg blue background, so I'm going to just go with that. So this is just a first layer. And yeah, the edges are dark. The center is a little bit lighter. Really, I'm going to dab it. I'll give it a little bit of dark gray on the bottom, as if, oh, I don't know, maybe it was a landscape of a sort. I think that was my light pink. So this is more, it's artistic, it's impressionist. And sometimes depending on the colors that you're putting down, you'll actually get a vision of something like, oh, it looks like the sea, or it looks like, it looks like a landscape, or it looks like some mountains, or flowers, or some other sort of thing. And it's very, very loose. We can frame it as we did the other side. And we can do all kinds of types of blending techniques. You don't have to tap it. You can swirl it. You can really give it some movement. And if you did swirl it, where's my pink here? This is my pink. No, this is my pink. And we could do half dark pink and a little bit of light pink next to it. And we can do a little bit of motion here. I don't know what it is. It's something. We can even do, we don't have a lot of paint underneath, and there's the duck egg blue that we're seeing, but yeah, we can do flowers. We can use our fingers, and we can even do that dabbing with the, doesn't have to be a round brush. And look at how much that kind of puts a little bit of a personality on that. It almost looks like pink trees. And yeah, I'm using the light pink and the dark pink. And yeah, maybe it's a sunset or a sunrise or, yeah. While we're here, let's do a completely loose blend. And by that, I mean you're going to lay on color, and there won't be any rhyme or reason to where that color comes together. And it's still a blend. And over something like this is where we would do transfers. We could do some stenciling over it. It has a very loose edge. Some of it is a sharp line. Some of it is blended. All of these you can continue to do more artwork with. And yeah, let's change it up a little bit. We'll change sides. We'll choose some different colors, and we'll try to get a little bit more with the wilder colors instead of a soft blend. Don't forget to wipe down your brushes. And keep those brushes wet. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of more of that boho type blend where we're doing a lot of dabbing and kind of loose here. And I have some different colors. I have the, what color is that? This is fern. I believe that one is fern. This is a celery, I think it is. Celery. It's like my favorite green. I don't know if you can see that green. This is the cashew, and this is pumpkin. So we'll throw some of those on here. And since I have paint on my brush here with the dark green, let's start by just dabbing some on. Now, sometimes this kind of a blend is, this technique for a blend like this is something that's really good when you have a decoupage paper and you're trying to blend the rest of your piece of furniture around the decoupage paper. This is a good blend to do, because what you're doing is you're just looking at the paper and you're saying, you know, what colors am I finding there? And you gather up all your different colors of what you're seeing in your decoupage paper, and then you just kind of blend them to the edge of the piece that you're working on. And yeah. And I just love doing this. Now, say I had a decoupage paper, and you know, now I'm starting to get into some of this kind of a look. Now, it's not really blending, it's sitting, but you know, it's all part of that paper. We'll pretend that we have a paper here. And yeah, it's just so pretty, so loose, and so free, no rules. You just want to bring all those colors into your paper, and before you know it, the paint disappears right into the edge of the paper that you've done. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing more fun to me than blending. I don't know, I just love putting different colors together and seeing what happens with them. At the end of this video, I will link a couple of different blending techniques. One will be a stool that I blended, and it's a technical blend, a pretty difficult technical blend with lots of different colors, and seeing what that's like to actually create a surface where there's no real edge, that technical blend that we talked about earlier. Then I'll also link a little jewelry box, some of which I painted literally with my hands. That's a blend like this. I just looked at some different colors, and I really didn't have a plan in my head. I just said, I think I feel like these colors today. And yeah, that's how that happened. I just chose different colors to put together. And literally when I got to the back of the jewelry box, it came out like a painting, like a landscape. And so I just added up sunshine in there. And it was really fun, really cool to do. Very cool to do. So, yeah. I don't think there's anything more fun than this. I just love it. Don't try too hard. Choose some colors that you like. Put them down in a palette. Grab a few brushes. Take the surface of whatever you're painting. And just put them down, see what happens. Now I'm using the same brush. I am just using the same brush over and over again. Now sometimes in a second coat I might follow the same pattern, then again I might not, because what I'm doing is I'm creating layers. So in the end, when you look through it, you'll see the primary layer that you ended with, and then you'll start to see those hidden layers coming through. And it's just so beautiful. Let's do a little light green down here. Yeah. The stir stick, I'm just going to dip it into the paint. I'm literally dipping it into my paint. Just going to take the palette, dip this in there. I don't want lots of paint. I don't want it to be drippy. Or maybe I do want it to be drippy. And I'm going to go into the blend. I said I was going to change brushes and then I didn't. That's okay. Oops. All right. Now, it's still not really a technical blend because we can still see some of the edges. It's a very loose blend. A little more tight than the rest of those blends, but still very loose. So let's do a different kind of a blend, and it will be more technical. And I'm going to do an ombre finish on the front of the drawers. I'm going to go right over the decals because the next time I paint this, I'll do a more rustic finish so that you won't really see those stencils, not stencils, but transfers on there. Yeah. So I'm going to start with the red on the bottom, Caribbean coral in the middle. and it will blend into the Spanish sunrise. So let's try that. While it's really stormy, I am going to try to do one layer of each of those three colors, and I can get those layers down. I'm going to go right over this wooden hardware. Not really worried about that. It's plenty moist in here, and I'm just going to start putting on a layer of paint. I was thinking I'm not going to go drawer by drawer. I'm going to end my blends in the middle of the drawers somehow. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm going to start with the drawers right inside, and I will decorate the insides of the drawers afterwards. So this is the Russian red, and our electricity is on. That's a good thing. I have my little heater going. I'll get to that later. So I'm going to start right up. Oh, there it goes. Oh boy, maybe it's just trying to tell me something. Oh boy. I think that's a pretty good place to stop. These are great colors. Now, typically the red pigmented colors are pretty translucent. I might even go up just a little bit right here. I don't know what that is. I might do just a little blending right here. I'm going to make sure I have plenty of moisture. Now, I'm not worried about that because this is just my first layer of paint, and I'm simply, getting some of the paint to combine. I'm using fresh brushes. So this isn't, I'm just showing you techniques, and I will be repainting this little piece of furniture. So, but that's why each side is different. I'm not really going to keep a piece of furniture with a bunch of different sides, although that's okay. I think you can just do what you want, but that isn't my goal. My goal is to just show you different ways of blending so that hopefully you'll try it. And yeah, just take a chance and see what happens. This is a clean brush. Not my favorite to blend with, but it'll do. And I'm just bringing these paint colors in together just so that they start a basic mix together. Okay. I took the knobs off and I gave it a second coat off camera, and I'm going to do a third coat from top to bottom. And afterwards, I'll do the detail around the edge. Hi, thank you for watching this week's video. This was a really kind of a different video that I wanted to put together because I was hearing people talk about blending, and that they either hadn't tried it or had tried it and failed. And I thought, oh, that's sad, because I don't like people to feel like they fail, especially in art. Like, how can you fail? That's just my opinion. So what I wanted to do was to put together a video that showed a few different blending techniques that you could try. And I think probably the best way to do it, as far as I am concerned, is to try the loose blends, the boho. Try blending with your decoupage paper. And then once you get used to putting the paint down like that, and the way the paint feels, and colors that go together, and the technique that you like, the way the brush feels in your hand, because it really is a different thing. It's different than anything else you probably do. It's another fun thing to play with. So yeah, before you did the technical blend, because it's just more difficult. It's easier if you use light colors, anything that's like a pink, pastels with lighter colors like an off-white. I would avoid stark white, but pink and dark pink. You can do the different tones of gray. Start with your beiges. Do peaches and dark peach. Oh, this blend is really easy right here. Just a very easy blend. This is actually easy too. The only thing that's difficult about these are that the colors are more translucent, so they have a little bit more that you have to play around with them a little bit more. Now, I don't often know what I'm going to do until I'm actually doing it. So over here on this side, I did more like a kind of what I think of as a boho blend with a lot of dabbing and just placing colors here and there, and let the artwork tell you what it wants, because it will if you let it go far enough. You just keep adding your colors. Just pick your colors that you think you want to go together, and start dabbing them on. You can do it with a sponge too. You don't have to do it with a brush. There's just so many different things you can do. But after I got this down, it started to speak to me like a chinoiserie. So that's kind of what I did was, I took a couple of different floral bird patterns and I placed those on. I just put them in different directions. It wasn't a stenciling video, so I didn't do that on camera. And I actually decorated it with a little bit of oil paint afterwards. I decorated the birds and decorated some of the florals on the other side, and I'll bring you over. These were 3 different types of blending. Was the more technical with the light focus in the center, and coming out to a darker edge. I did put a little bit of a wax stenciling over that, a silver gray wax. This one, more of a boho look. I did a lot of dabbing on that, and just a very loose blend, really. And then on the bottom, it's even looser. So just more of almost a striping technique, and just placing the paint here and there. And it all kind of works together. And yeah, so this was fun. I hope you enjoyed that. So yep, thank you again for watching the video. If you're not subscribed, will you consider subscribing? And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Yeah, have a great rest of your weekend. Next week, for the next couple of weeks, I will be working away from home, so I don't know what the projects will be, but I actually have to get projects for there. So thank you for watching the video. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I wish you all good and beautiful things. Take care. I don't know what I hear. Just have to be careful of the trees. We have so much deadfall. I just don't want to be sitting here when a tree falls on the barn.